Well, that was a game, but if my math is mathing correctly, is that the first Sharks shutout of the season? Let's go. Hey, welcome in to the often imitated, never duplicated, original live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free Sharks podcast. Wrapping up your week of Sharks hockey, part of Teal Town, USA. Do that like and subscribe thing and leave your take in the comment section if you are not with us on the live show. And if you aren't, well, why the hell aren't you? So, what had happened was the Sharks somehow had a winning record this week, 2-1. Are you kidding me? Currently 5-9-2. I don't believe it. Oh man. All right, Ian. This was not on my bingo card.
No, I mean this is a Devils team that they were on the second night of a back-to-back, and I think they did have, puck luck was not on their side tonight, but I mean this is not a game that I thought the Sharks were gonna come out of on the better part of the score sheet, let alone like in a shutout. Because I feel like every time I scroll Twitter, it's like a Jack Hughes highlight reel goal.
Yeah. I think what we can say with an amazing amount of confidence is I think it was Matt Benning was just bringing this team down.
Yeah.
Got rid of him and everything's fine.
Everything's been great since. That's how this works.
Especially if you factor in those 1-goal games. But, hey, it's a takeover this week. The Pucknologists following a game. So the way that works is we talk about the game you just saw, a 1-0 victory. Blackwood gets the shutty against his former team on what, we lovingly recall Will Smith Development Day. And I think the best part of this is the fact that a former Shark is the one who actually scored for the Sharks tonight.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a long time since I could just tweet the hashtag Timo time, and it was nice. I'm glad I was able to do that one more time.
I was kind of bummed that Randy didn't just fucking go for it and just be like, it's Timo time in New Jersey. Yeah. Just throw it back, buddy. Let me ask you though. So Timo gets Sturm gets the goal off Timo. The legit assists, the one on the scorecards, is Grundstrom and Thrun, but the Zetterlund called off goal. They're saying, oh, he pushed in his pad. Dude, that looked good to me.
I have the tonight, I have feed roulette, and tonight it was the Devils feed. And they didn't show the overhead, like the very top overhead that we tweeted out on our Twitter feed. So I didn't see that. So at first when I saw it, I was like, when I first saw the guy, I'm like, well, was that even Zetterlund's stick? And it was. The problem I have with this call is that the play wasn't like he didn't have control. Like, it wasn't like the puck was under his pad and he had it under control and then Zetterlund pushed his pad in. And that's the problem that I have with this goal being called back, is that like he didn't have it. He never had the puck. Like, I can understand, okay, the puck's under the pad and you jam the pad into the net. That shouldn't be a goal. I 100% agree with that. But Jake Allen never had the puck. The puck was loose the whole time. So how that goes, and the refs did a circle jerk and they didn't actually go upstairs. Like, to me, that's a goal, but oh well.
Oh. Scratchman says, still need better plays in the D zone and more speed on the breakout, but the Sharks have worked hard on each of their wins. I would absolutely agree with that. There was certainly a lack of work in the Minnesota game this week. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Ruda took a big hit from Holla. Did not return for the third. For me, this was kind of addition by subtraction. I'm like, dude, Ruda is the new Matt Benning for me. I'm kind of like, all right, when do we replace this guy? Cagnoni kind of knocking on the door.
Yeah, I mean, Coyote's cooled down a little bit. We can talk about that with the Barracuda. But like again, like I think that um defensively this team's going to be an adventure. There's just no way around it. I think Timothy Liljegren coming in and has been really good. I think he's like noticeably improved the defense, but you still have Thrun, CC, Ferraro,
Yeah,
Ruda.
it's not good.
You know what I mean? Like,
And your best defenseman is, well, we'll get into the whole speculation with Walman in a bit.
oh wow.
Just on the numbers, the typical Sharks fashion, 0 for on the power play, but they killed both of Jersey's power play chances.
Not even that not only did they also, I mean, and this is kind of self-inflicted on New Jersey's part as well, but like I don't think New Jersey got a shot on either of their power plays.
Yeah.
And some of that was a little self-inflicted, maybe a little too much passing it around on their part, but I give the Sharks full marks tonight.
Well, and
for their penalty kill.
Dude blocked 22 shots tonight. So
yeah.
But to get outshot 44-27, you're just like, yikes. And then you throw in the game at the beginning of the week where, what was it, 50 saves, 49 for Vanacek? You know, so it's like, God damn, that's a lot of rubber on the tenders, but whatevs. Finally, dude, and this is something that I noticed, Celebrini and Will Smith, that is, just, man, do they need to get together with Pavs or somebody and work on their face-offs? I mean, 2 for 9 for Celebrini.
It'll come.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, right? Like, I think it's one of those, it's hard to come in, and I feel like a lot of centers, when they come into the league, a lot of them struggle in the dot. I think if you look at other probably good centers who have come into the league, like you struggle and then you kind of figure it out over time, and it's that you have to lose to. It's a situation where you learn from your failure, and I think that's Celebrini is obviously a smart player. I think if you watch him play, it's very obvious how smart of a player he is, and I'd make the same argument for Will Smith too. I think it'll come. I think it's one of those things where you learn from failure.
Yeah. Talk to Nico, buddy. He was 100% today. All right. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it was a 1-0 win. There's really not a lot to dive into.
No, I mean, like we covered the no goal call. But I mean, you know what? I just, again, though, I think, but I give the Sharks a lot of credit tonight, because I think they came in and they worked really hard against a really good team. And you like even like I said, I was watching the Devils broadcast, and they just were heaping praise on the Sharks play tonight, which is, it's nice when like you hear like the opposing broadcast heaping praise on the work ethic and play of the visiting team, because in today's NHL you don't get that a lot, right? It's all about pumping the tires of the home team. And granted, there was definitely some tire pumping going on there, but they couldn't praise the Sharks play enough tonight.
Well, I mean, they kind of owed us this game after the Minnesota debacle. that was
sure. Yeah.
Oh man. What did DJ Izzy say here in the chat? Says, let's go 5 wins in 16 games compared to last year. We're going to win the cup. I mean, I don't think this season, but okay.
Eventually.
Yeah. All right. Put the bow on the Jersey game. Let's get to the beginning of the week. A overtime win versus Kevin LeBanc and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Vanacek would start after Blackwood started 3 of 4. So you can see we're kind of, all right, we're going to give this guy a chance. We're going to give this guy a chance, see if he can run with it. So you get that game that Vanacek turns aside 50, 49, whatever it was. Plus
49.
You also get Celebrini returning. And, dude, it was like, oh, thank God. So Gushin and Cardwell get sent down for Celebrini and Dellandrea. Look, that's, of course, going to happen. For all the talk about Gushin and all the, there was definitely some hype on the social. Oh, release the Gushin, and, the Gush is loose. And, but I mean, I need to see some more marinating with the Cuda.
I see. Here's the thing with that though, right? And I understand that the goal of the game is to score goals and get points, right? Like that's the name of the game. But I thought like when he was on the ice, at least with the Sharks, I thought like play generally was in the Sharks' favor with him on the ice. I didn't think that he got like caved in a lot. I thought he was creating a lot. So I mean, like again, I think that it was a numbers game, and obviously he was going to go down. But I wasn't that disappointed with the games that he got. I thought he showed a lot. Just it didn't end up going in the net.
How'd you feel about Cardwell?
Same, like Cardwell. I think again, Cardwell's a guy who I really love a lot, but I don't think like his game's going to translate to high offensive NHL numbers. So I really liked what I saw from Cardwell, and I feel like he's another guy who, if they're looking for a guy who's, if a guy in their bottom six goes down again, I think he's going to be the guy they bring right back up.
Aaron Jacks in the chat saying Blackwood upping his trade value. I mean, yeah, Vanacek, Blackwood, I don't care. Either one, man. Let's get something back for him, please, once that deadline hits. And we know that there are some teams that are out there looking.
Yeah.
For Columbus, we'll get into he was scratched after posting 7 points in 3 games. And you would have thought that social media was going to come to a halt with all the speculation about Walman. We'll get to it in a little bit. But Thompson gets his first goal. Wennberg wins it in OT. The one thing, though, that I did see a lot of talk about on the Soch was the fact that it was, just over 10,000 tickets sold. And I got to tell you, dude, it looked awful on TV. I mean,
Sure did.
Dude,
Sure.
like an entire third and fourth row from the glass completely empty.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it was it's rough. I mean, it's Columbus. I think that it's going to take time to earn the fans back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about ticket prices and concession prices and everything else, but ultimately it's the product on the ice that's going to sell the tickets to these games. And everyone realizes that this is still like, yeah, you're going to see some cool things. We've seen some cool things this year as opposed to where we were last year this time.
0-9-1.
Right? Like compared to where we were last year at this time, like we've had there's been some fun this year, but everyone still kind of knows the score with this team. And it's going to take time. Like they're going to have to win back time for people to get back into the building. And a Tuesday night against Columbus isn't going to be a hot ticket on any night.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing. It was like when it was empty for Halloween, it was like, well, it was Halloween. Okay, fair point. And then it's, okay, Columbus. Well, it's Columbus on a Tuesday and it was election day. Okay, fine.
That too, yeah.
But Minnesota, like that was Thursday. There was nothing else going on and it was still pretty damn empty, about the same as the Columbus game. So, yeah.
And I'd want to watch Kirill Kaprizov play. Like again, right? It's like who's coming into town too, because I think that the opponent helps sell tickets too. In that situation, I love watching Kirill Kaprizov play, but I don't know how that plays in the Bay Area.
Well, I was going to say we've mentioned that before on this cast that the Sharks or NBCS and whoever you want to say need to do a better job of selling the opponent coming in.
100%. 100%. It's unfortunate that we live in a time now where nobody wants to hear anything negative at all, or negative in the respect that you're pumping the tires of another team. And like I said, it was like tonight's game against the Devils. It was refreshing to hear like how much praise they were heaping upon the Sharks play, considering like that just generally doesn't happen. Or you might get a passing mention of it, but it doesn't happen, right? You don't, and they're talking about, like, obviously Macklin Celebrini is going to get a lot of talk, and they're obviously going to talk about Zetterlund because he's a former Devil who was a big fan favorite there. But but the praise they heaped on other players too it was refreshing.
Well, and the thing that gets me is the fact that sell the other team. The fact that you had NHL's youngest player score on the NHL's oldest player.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How do you know? And like you said, Kaprizov, that's a name. So, like,
right.
Got to do a better job at selling
100%.
matchups. We talked about Blackwood a little bit, and Eric is in here helping us out with some quotes from the locker room following the New Jersey game. So let's get to those real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Blackwood on which save was the most important. I mean, they're all important, not one more than the other. That's a. I love all my children, even the ugly ones.
Well, in a 1-0, I mean, he's not wrong. In a 1-0 victory, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Blackwood saying sometimes you just have to pick a spot and move towards the way they're shooting and hope it hits you. I love hope and a prayer goaltending.
I mean, there was a couple of ones where I think that kind of happened. I mean, like where it kind of hit off his blocker and deflected away from the net instead of into it. Like,
well,
again, he's not wrong.
Some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug.
That's it.
Yeah. Blackwood also saying it's pretty cool for me. I spent a lot of time here. I have good relationships with a lot of the guys over in that room. Of course.
Sure. Yeah, these guys are all friends. Like they all,
they all shoot the shit.
They all shoot the shit. They're all golfing in the summer. You're in the trenches with guys for as long as Blackwood was there. Like it's very rare a guy's going to come out of a situation like that and be like, no, those guys are dickheads.
So happy to get out of there for a piece of shit. Blackwood also saying we're still growing as a team always. We're a young team. We got some good veteran guys to lead the way. Yeah. For now. And I'm sure Warsaw will be here soon enough to make some comments. So let's get on to the Minnesota game then, and then we'll get back to more post comments from the Devils. But
sure.
Minnesota 5-2. We were joking, or we happened to be at the game, and we were joking around like, this game, the Minnesota Wild versus the San Jose Celebrinis, has been amazing.
Yeah.
And after that, scoring 2 in his third game, and I'm like, okay, this kid's no Thomas Hertl. Didn't he have 4 in his third game? Like, get on the stick, bro.
Yeah, get on. Get with it.
But dude, aside from Macklin, I mean, I was just like,
it was a brutal game.
Oh, dude, I would at one point. So Eric and I are sitting there at one point, like in the first period, like I don't know, like maybe 15 minutes in. I say, hey, do me a favor, bring up Natural Stat Trick and show me the heat map. And dude, it was just ice cubes on one side of it, man. Like it just felt like we're not even playing on that side of the rink.
Oh. Yeah, not good. Not a good game at all. I mean, if you consider the fact that like the Sharks just got mauled. And then obviously like we talk about the final score is 5-2. It could have been 7-2 if those plays aren't offside. Mm-hmm. Like it was not a good night for anyone other than Macklin Celebrini. I think look at after the game that he played against Columbus, you had to go back to Vanacek. And I don't put this on Vanacek. The team in front of him played like trash. He got shelled.
But that's the funny thing. The Sharks had 2 wins this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get shellacked 50-27 on shots, right?
Yep.
Earlier tonight, they 44-27. But then the one game they lose, outshot 31-26.
Yeah, but those 31, like not all shots are equal. And like Vanacek was just hung out to dry so many times in those 31 shots.
Still, it's funny.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I think like it just it goes to show how sometimes like not all shots are equal. Sometimes you hang your goalie out to dry, and sometimes you give your goalie a lot of shots, but there's a lot of really good shots, right? Like, or there are a lot of easy shots because you're taking the passing lane. So all they really do is they're going to shoot looking for a rebound. That was not what was happening.
No.
Yeah.
Nico Sturm following tonight saying, the Devils played last night. I thought we took advantage of that in the first 2 periods. It's especially tough to shut down. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and that's something that you have to do. That needs to be part of your team identity. If the other team played the night before and you got an extra day off because of, you traveled on Friday and you get Saturday to chill out, then yeah, you better be able to bring it on a Sunday night. Sturm also saying that cycle game, that skill game that they have for 60 minutes, it's almost impossible to shut down.
Yeah, and they did a really, like I said, they did a really excellent job. I think there was some situations where I don't think the Devils did themselves any favors. I think maybe they probably passed the puck a few too many times on a couple of plays, but again, you have to give credit to the Sharks. They came out, they stopped them from getting shots on either of their power plays. Can't argue with that.
Right.
Except for maybe the last one, right? I think they had a power play at the end of the game that they. When did they empty the net? But
well, it's Ferraro went into the box.
Oh yeah, yes, when Ferraro went to the yes, but the earlier power plays, like the Sharks completely shut it down. And yeah, you can argue, okay, the Devils could have shot on a few occasions, but they didn't because they didn't feel comfortable like they had a decent shot at the net. How did that happen? The Sharks were playing good defense, amazingly somehow.
Somehow they pulled that out. We're not really sure how, but okay. Now look, I get it. You want to be there for your guy, okay? But let me just whip this out. Oh, by the way, it is official right now, as it stands. The Sharks, not the worst team in the NHL right now statistically.
Who's that? The Flyers?
The Canadiens.
Oh, yeah, that was my second guess.
Worst winning percentage. But okay, look, I get you want to pump the tires of your guy, but Zetterlund saying in this postgame, Blackwood is the best goalie in the league. Dude, he might
he
not
looks
even
like it some nights.
He does, but like, have you not heard of Connor Hellebuck? You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, look, and I'm not going to sit here and make a case for Blackwood being the best goalie in the league. I think he's a good goalie, right? And I think that I think any team would be lucky to have him, but he's not Igor Shesterkin, he's not Connor Hellebuck, he's not Ilya Sorokin, he's not, and I could play this game for a while before I would get to Mackenzie Blackwood on my list.
Well, I was going to say, there's some nights it's like you're saying he's the best goalie in the league. I'm like, sometimes I don't know that he's the best goalie on this team. We don't know.
I don't think that's in question.
Well, let me see. So Blackwood responding to Zetterlund's comment says, tonight, I'll take it. Tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, now here's the question with the Sharks playing tomorrow.
Yes.
Vanacek started the last two games, then Blackwood started tonight. It's because it's
back to Vanacek.
I'm sorry?
You go back to Vanacek.
Okay. I don't know. I was like, man, do you give the guy the, that look? But yeah, go back to Vanacek. And then
when you have two goalies like this that have a significant injury history, you don't play them on back-to-backs. I don't care how good they play.
Oh, boy. All right. And so we're still waiting on the post-game comments from Warsofsky. So as we wait for those, we, that's the problem with doing a takeover is we have to do the weave. We have to.
We do weave. Yeah. We'll go back and forth. It's fine.
So the other big thing this week was the whole Jake Walman thing. It turned out to be much ado about nothing, but a guy isn't on the ice for a day and everybody starts assuming the worst.
Well, because it's again like the fucking teal curtain, man. The teal curtain everything could be solved if it wasn't for the teal curtain. Like the Sharks did Walman dirty here. I don't care what anyone says. The Sharks did him dirty because because obviously like it's like, oh no, it's my decision, whatever. And obviously the last game that he played, there was definitely a play that pretty much lost the Sharks the game that he was directly responsible for. And you're like, and he took accountability for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, so he took accountability because he actually came out and fessed up to it. Now we're going to punish him because, oh, well, shit, he said he was bad. So I guess we got to, hold him accountable now. And, and the Sharks just wouldn't say why he was so obviously people are like, oh, is this why Detroit gave him away for nothing? And like, I understand the internet's a stupid place where
that's it. That's all you needed to say.
That's it. The internet's a stupid place where we kind of we speculate. But this was a situation where if the Sharks just came out and said what they finally ended up telling us, none of it, like it's a dead issue, right? But no, like I just one thing that I'll never give the Sharks enough grief for is how much they treat their fans like their fans don't actually give a fuck. Right? Like they just think, oh, our fans don't care about that stuff. Like this is why, and I'm okay. This is not why you have 10,000 people in arena, but it's part of it.
Well, it's just the thing that we've seen it happen so many times. I mean,
Mhm.
we all remember the Evander Kane debacle when he missed a team photo, and they had to
Yeah.
Photoshop him in. And there were, a couple people that had some of the most ridiculous, horrific speculation I've ever read, and it all proved to be utter bullshit. And then with the Walman thing, there's a lot of speculation. Oh, is this a Corey
Sure.
Perry thing with what happened in Chicago?
Yeah.
It's like we don't know
Oh, he slept
what's.
with Celebrini's mom. That's terrible.
And then it comes out and it's like, oh, he missed a treatment, and so they're holding him accountable. Like, this is your calendar, you need to stick to it. But and it's like,
So come out and say it, or like come out and say it. Like come out and say it right when it happens. Like this is why he's not playing tonight, and then it's done.
I completely agree. But then I feel like, maybe the I don't know, the Shangs of the world or whatever go, oh man, this is, a juicy nugget that I can get clicks for, or
Yeah,
there's
but like,
podcasts that can go, oh, this is, fun. I can sell this because we don't know what the deal is because of the teal curtain.
yeah, the teal curtain's fucking stupid.
Eric letting us know, God, talk about fucking stupid. The post-game highlight zone, evidently number 3 was Jake Moody's game-winning field goal for the Niners over Tampa. Number 2 was Steph Curry for the Warriors, and then Mackenzie Blackwood was the number 1 highlight. Like, whatever. It's like, you've got, I don't even like Make-A-Wish kids like running the graphics over at NBC, and I just like, I don't even know what the, I mean, could you disrespect the team anymore? Whatever. Mitya coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So speaking of internet, any plans to move from X and bring the conversation to Threads, for example? That's something that I believe Puck Guy is doing. So I believe we are on Threads. I've reached my capacity for social media. Like, I'm unwilling to add another app on my phone. So like Threads might be great, but I'm done.
Yeah, here's my thing, right? And I've thought about leaving Twitter, just like stopping using Twitter. The problem with that is like, unless like, the thing is with my Twitter feed, like it's mostly hockey.
Yep.
Like I've pretty much pruned it from a lot of other things. And until I can go to a place like Threads and Blue Sky and just like scroll through my feed and watch a bunch of different, silly goals going in nets, it makes it hard to move on, right? Because it's really like I do interact with people on Twitter. Like I don't want to pretend like I'm, a Twitter hermit that doesn't interact with anybody. There's definitely people that I enjoy interacting with on Twitter. But until like I would leave tomorrow. If something like Blue Sky took off and like everyone started using Blue Sky, like all the major media, like the sports medias and teams and everything else moved to Blue Sky, great. I will happily fucking leave Twitter and never look back. But until that happens, like I can't.
Well, I was going to say, you just hit the nail on the head. You go and look. I don't care what sport it is. I don't care if it's hockey, if it's Formula One racing, football, or whatever. Whenever they post quotes or different things, they're not quoting something from Threads or Blue Sky. It's always Twitter. So it's like, not to be that guy that's like, the media's to blame for everything, but if they, if they started saying we pulled this from Threads or whatever, you get it out there. But the other thing too is, what are the kids on? If it's going to shift, it's 15, 16, 17-year-olds right now. Are they on Threads? Or are they on Twitter?
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. Like I do have a Blue Sky. You can find me at cmblockshockey.bluesky, whatever. And I'm there, but I mostly just read on Blue Sky. I don't think I've ever actually posted anything on Blue Sky. So I am there. If you want to follow me, I don't really say anything there, but there are people that I do enjoy who don't use Twitter anymore that do use Blue Sky, and I do follow them on there and kind of keep up on what they're up to. But I think it's just a situation where, as much as I don't like using it, there's really no alternative, because I don't want to go back to Facebook either. So
no shit. Okay, Warsofsky with some comments here. Blackwood was outstanding, likely the best I've seen him play. of course. And fourth line was effective as they had been on the forecheck. They're starting to build some chemistry. I would hope so. Seems to be Grundstrom, Sturm in, or Giovanni, or it's Grundstrom, Sturm, Dellandrea, but it's the Grundstrom Sturm show on the fourth line for the most part. And it kind of reminds me of the DeBoer era, because remember, it was like DeBoer loved his pairs, and then he would mix and match. He'd move wings around, but it was always this center with this winger, and then we'll bolt on the third guy.
Yeah.
So feels like that's kind of happening here, at least with the fourth line. It seems like you're constantly seeing Goody and Cunnin on the third line, so you see those pieces there. But anyway, back to the Walman thing. I'm assuming. Walman now is, I guess, in fact, injured.
Yes. Yeah, because we couldn't say that either. Teal curtain.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was so weird. So I guess
I hate the teal curtain, man. There's again, just Sharks, if you're listening, fuck off with the teal curtain. Your fans give a shit way more than you think they give a shit, and they're more invested. There is a group. I'm not saying they all are, but there are a group of fans that are way more invested than you ever give them credit for, and it's fucking insulting. Well, flat out, it's fucking insulting. Do better.
The other thing being is that you can't get mad at the speculation if you're going to have
if you create it.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't get. It's like, oh, well, I heard that Walman and Corey Perry had a three-way with
with Macklin's mom.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Probably one of the last ones. It was close. We could have challenged. We thought about it, but it was just a tough one. Warsofsky on the Zetterlund no goal.
I would have challenged it. Fucking right, I would have.
But I thought Randy said that you couldn't in that situation.
I don't think they see, because and here's the problem, because I think because they never went to review, they just kind of had their little circle jerk and then decided it wasn't a goal. Which I think is because I think once that happens, then because there's nothing there, you can't, the Sharks can't challenge for goalie interference. It's not their goalie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish the Sharks could have challenged there. If I'm Warsofsky, I would have been pretty hot about it, especially watching the replay, where I don't think the difference between that goal, which would normally get called back, and I know I kind of said this earlier, and I'll just repeat it again for anyone who's just joining, is that if Jake Allen has that puck and then Zetterlund pushes his pad in, if that puck's under his pad and then Zetterlund pushes it in, that's absolutely not a goal. The problem here is Jake Allen never had that puck. He was never in control of that puck. That puck was a live puck. Therefore, that should be a goal.
Mm-hmm. And then I also like Eric pointing out that they, again, NBCSN cut off the coach to get back to wrapping up the postgame as if there's something better to do tonight. It's, oh, no, we got to get to that dog show from 2019, that repeat, Give me a fucking break. If you're Will Smith, are you wondering when Macklin gets a development day?
I think because the fact that Macklin has already missed so much time already, I think that it's going to be, I think eventually he's probably going to get one, but I think the fact that he's missed so much time, you just kind of want to keep him going. I don't think it serves you any benefit right now to sit Macklin Celebrini.
Well,
his play hasn't warranted it. Not that I think that, not that Will Smith's play has warranted it anymore. He had a rough start to the season, but I think he's done better as the season's progressed. But eventually Macklin Celebrini is going to get scratched. It's going to be a thing that happens. This happens to rookies across the fucking league. But I think because of the way that he missed so much time already to start, it's in the Sharks' best interest to keep him going.
Well, you got a back-to-back between tonight and tomorrow, and then I believe end of next week there's also a back-to-back. Maybe we'll see him. Macklin get a dev day on that back-to-back because that's also on the road.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I would keep him playing because I think his play has been. I mean, this is what we wanted to see, right? I'd be really fucking mad. If I went to a game and Macklin's not playing, I'm pissed. Pissed.
I know. Eric coming in here. So we welcome those of you who are watching 49ers Cal High Sports Focus. What'd you think about Eklund getting called out following Minnesota? Like Warsawski like dropped him down to the fourth line, I think, at one point, and was like, "We need more from Eki." Blah 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 blah.
I mean, it wasn't a good game. I don't think anyone was really good. I think you could put the goat hordes on a lot of guys. I don't know if I would have picked William Eklund, but William Eklund, like all the criticism of William Eklund when he started, like it's all gone now. That's the beautiful thing about William Eklund is like when he started, everyone's like, oh, he's not, it's a lot of the same shit you're hearing about Will Smith right now. Oh, he's not hard enough on the boards and blah blah blah. That dude's fucking tenacious on the boards now. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, I think, it was a bad game. I don't think there was a lot of people put the goat hordes on. I think William Eklund was any worse than anyone else? Not really. But I mean, if the coaches got to push buttons. If he saw something he didn't like, then I mean, all the power to him, right?
Mm-hmm. So obviously, Vanacek had a game. Blackwood had a game. We're going to see where these guys fit. I don't know, but do we need to get a pool going as to which one gets moved at the deadline? Heroes and zeros. I mean, for me, it's pretty obvious. Celebrini is my hero for the week.
Yeah, same.
Comes back, 2 goals in his third game. Has been impactful, and certainly I'm not saying the bar is low, but the kid has some length of rope at this point, but he's impacting every game in a positive way. Has he even taken a penalty this season?
He has.
Okay.
Once, yeah.
So I've been pretty.
Yeah, like
pretty
I agree. I'd echo everything you said. Especially considering again, he played his first game, gets injured, misses a bunch of games. It's hard to get it's hard to get it going, especially as a rookie, your first taste of NHL action, to miss the first month of the season and then really have to get going again after that. And he's done it. Is everything that he does on the ice perfect? No, of course not. The perfect player like that does not exist. But I think, he's so fun to watch because you can tell like he thinks the game so intelligently. And like this, even when they lose, like watching Celebrini play, like, it's like that game against Minnesota was awful.
Mm-hmm.
But Celebrini goals were pretty awesome. Right? You know what I mean? Whereas like that's what we missed in the first month of the season because it's like, oh, everything sucks. And like, what are we watching? We're just watching the same shit as last year. Whereas like now you're seeing like, yeah, this team sucks now and this team's not going to finish very high in the standings. They're going to get another reasonably high draft pick. But the future looks fun.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Crafty Koala talking about 3:30 p.m. tomorrow makes no sense. I mean,
it's in Philadelphia. What time do you want them to start? 10:30 local time?
But the other thing though, it's Veterans Day. I mean, they typically play at 1:00 locally on Martin Luther King Day. So
yeah.
Scratchman saying Eklund seems like a veteran, but he's only in his second full year. So.
Yeah, I agreed. Like I think if you go back and you read a lot, and this is why I think that you have to have patience with Will Smith, because I feel like a lot of the same things that we're saying about Will Smith now, we were saying about William Eklund in his first year. And he took time and he had to get better. Like he had to go and improve. He had to work on things. He had to get way harder to play against on the boards. But now that motherfucker is tenacious on the boards, man. I love William Eklund. Like I've always been a big William Eklund guy, but like I think a lot of the criticisms of his games, like it's hard to find them now because I think his game has improved so much. Now, I think there's like some expectations on Eklund to be like the centerpiece of this thing, and I never saw him like that. I thought he was always going to be a nice accessory to whoever the centerpiece would be. In this case, Macklin Celebrini. Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, like it's just you have to be patient with these kids sometimes because sometimes they take a little time to figure it out. And William Eklund's a guy. It took a little time. He had to figure it out, and he did.
We got some interesting comments here. Steven saying. There was a fist fight on the concourse immediately after the game. Devils fans were in shambles cursing Blackwood. I can neither confirm or deny that, but holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, if when the Sharks were good, I feel like we've done numerous shows after games like that where we were on the wrong side of it, right? Mm-hmm. Where the Sharks were like this Stanley Cup contender And I'm trying to think of who would be dog shit at that time. I guess let's say
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah, let's say Buffalo because they've always been dog shit. Comes in and and goalies us, and you're like, how did we lose this game?
Mm-hmm. And Ricky's saying there's been a lot of gun flapping to beat around the bush. Celebrini is good. Will Smith, not so much. It's time.
Again, like I just think it's Will Smith's gonna be fine.
He'll be fine.
Mark my word, he will be fine. You look at, I think the expectations there were probably set a little high. And I think again, it's a big adjustment to go from playing college hockey to the NHL. Yeah, there's a lot of criticisms of his games. Yes, he has to be harder on the puck. Yes, he has to be harder on the boards. But the talent is there, and eventually he's going to figure out the NHL game and he's going to be fine.
Sleepy Mofo, I want a link on this. He's saying Blackwood dedicated the win to Greg Wyszynski after he talked smack about him.
Good.
I need a link on this. I want to see what this is about. Steven saying Zetterlund looked great tonight. Stayed late for warm-ups. Wanted to give his old team the middle finger. Yeah, I'm sure he does. I mean, I'm still enjoying that trade. Zetterlund. I mean, let's call it what it is. So far, it's really been the Sharks traded away Timo Meier, and if you listen to Jerk, it's, the Sharks are going to spend the next 10 years looking for the next Timo Meier. But Timo Meier, and so far the Sharks have gotten what? Zetterlund, Mukhamadullin, Quentin Musty from the pick that they ended up getting, and then Okokchuk, but, I mean, where'd he go? Is it Vancouver or something?
Back to the K, I think.
Oh, geez.
Now I think he was in Calgary for a bit, and now back to the K.
Either way, some nice pieces for the future, especially if Mukhamadullin pans out. We'll talk about him in a little bit. My zero for the week, like I said, dude, Jan Ruda. He's my new whipping boy. I don't know what it is about defensemen, but
they're bad.
Yeah, dude.
On this team, they are bad.
I used to, beat the shit out of Brendan Dillon, but then he got better, but then I was beating the crap out of Benning, and now I'm beating the crap out of Ruda. And the other thing is the Sharks power play going 0 for 10 in 3 games this week. Be better.
Yeah, I just want to hit the chat here quick, Ricky. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm just talking in general. I don't take my Will Smith stuff. That wasn't directed specifically at you. I hear you. I see you. I'm not picking on you specifically. Please don't think that. To go to my zero of the week, I had a really hard time this week picking a zero.
Because there's so much to choose from? Or?
I disagree. I don't think in the Minnesota game, let me finish. In the Minnesota game, everyone was bad. So, you could, but so, and I don't want this to become just a thing, man, because I don't know. I just don't want to pick on the same guys every week. I'm going to go Mario Ferraro again. I feel shitty doing it because I feel like I'm just picking on the guy at this point, but I don't know, man. It's not good. It hasn't been good. I'm going to not pick a defenseman next week. Cause I feel like we've just I don't want Mario Ferraro to be like the new Martin Jones where I just come on here and I'm just teed up for a 20-minute rant about Mario Ferraro every week. It's easy. I could do it.
Well, I might throw hang a zero around the fair weather fans. Not showing up to the tank. There's some fun shit to be seen here. So it's fucking show up, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's not good. I could give a zero to the Teal fucking curtain, but I feel like I've done that enough this show.
Well, at the very least, show up to some CUDA games as well. They're a lot of fun. If price is a factor, which I totally understand.
Yeah, 100%.
CUDA game was great today. It had pucks and paws, so you got a lot of puppies out there. It was a 4-2 or 5-3 victory. So come on. Then the other thing that happened this week, we talked about it following the Minnesota game on After Dark. We were invited to a pregame thing that we got to try out some of their brand new food options that they've introduced this season.
Ooh.
I will tell you that. So the 3 that we were talking about the most was a hot honey chicken and waffle sandwich thing. that was holy shit, was it good? Then there was the hot boy. Where is it? Okay, I was like, wait a minute, I have the menu here still. The hot boy from Shrimp and Ain't Easy, which is hot link, shrimp, cream cheese, bust down sauce, whatever that means, cotija, pickled green and red onions. That was like a huge hit. And what was the third one? Oh yeah, this vegan smash burger. So vegan patty, vegan bun, vegan aioli, lettuce, vegan cheddar, tomato slice, red onion. My only complaint about that was instead of fries, I'm like, add coleslaw and make it a bit more heart healthy. But those were the three that we were jamming on. But fair warning. What was it called? The Teal smash burger. The thing comes on a teal bun, right? They've injected the bun or something. I don't know, but the bun is teal, and they burn in the circle fin logo on the top of the bun.
That's awesome.
Right? You can see photos of all this shit on our Insta and Twitter, but all of that, fair warning though, that damn teal bun will turn your shit green for 2 days. Like, they must put a remarkable amount of dye into that stuff.
Damn.
I was like, good God, man. But, yeah, I can't, if you get the chance to go to the Tank, man, check out that Shrimp and Ain't Easy and the vegan smash, if that's your jam, or that hot honey chicken and waffle sandwich. God damn, those were fucking good.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
And then they had the other thing that was kind of cool is that they had some retail stuff that they were showing off. So we got to see a couple of the things that they're going to be throwing down for the jumbo retirement thing. So, you know, we get to see Puck and some scarves. There's going to be a lot of jumbo merch, buddy.
I believe it.
So much jumbo merch. All right. So let's move on to that other team there for a hot minute.
Barracuda.
So with the CUDA, you know, I had a really this was an insanely busy week for me, so I may get some of these numbers wrong. You're gonna have to correct me. So,
okay.
Are they currently 7-3-0?
7-3-0 or 7-4-0? I can't. Let me see here.
Well, I thought they only lost twice this week, right? I mean, once this week. Split.
Yeah. Let me see here. What have they got? They are 7-4-0.
7-4-0. Okay. So either way, you had a pair against Colorado yesterday and today. 3-2 loss yesterday. Askarov allowing 3 on 27 shots. That is very unlike Yaroslav.
Yeah, here's the thing with yesterday's game, though. Like the Barracuda, they worried me a little last game. I'm not gonna lie, because I think that this is a team where I started to wonder: is Askarov goalieing them out of problems that maybe they don't deserve to be goalied out of? Their defensive play, their play in their own zone was really brutal yesterday. Like a lot of shades of last year's Barracuda in yesterday's game. Maybe not all the penalties like that have definitely been a problem, but just like a lot of unforced turnovers, a lot of just not great play in their own zone. And I think they hung Askarov to dry on a few of those goals. You know, and I think he was fine. I think they were good, but like they couldn't outscore their problems. You know, I think they've scored a lot of goals this year, and I think they've been able to probably outscore a few of their problems this year. And, you know, and then Askarov has been giving them saves in games where, you know, last night wasn't a game where he faced a ton of shots, but he faced a lot of good quality shots from the Colorado Eagles yesterday. And, you know, and he couldn't bail them out of it. And I don't think they deserve to be bailed out of that game either. Like, I think the Barracuda lost yesterday and they deserve to lose.
Oh, wait a minute. Steve is saying, should we have a Teal Town meetup and chug a beer at the Jumbo retirement game? I mean, we're going to be there.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. Or maybe beforehand at Poor Decisions in Little Italy. I mean, if we're gonna chug a beer, let's at least chug a good one. So
Chug one that you don't need to take out a mortgage for.
yeah, no doubt. Podorowski and Graf both score again. Graf,
Graf has been good. Yeah.
dude named AHL Rookie of the Month for October, so he continues on. The follow-up game earlier today, like we said, pucks and paws, goals by Ule, Frisch, Podorowski gets on there again, and then finishing it up, you get a couple from Tristan Robbins, a 3-point game for Tristan, and
Yes.
Muka Madulin gets his first point of the season, this time with Romanov in net.
Yeah. Again, I think they played a much better game. I think Georgi Romanov, I think he's in a pretty unenviable situation, right? I think this was maybe his third game this season, which with a guy like Yaroslav Askarov playing on your team, you're going to get less starts. And I think it's going to be harder for him to stay dialed in because he's not going to get the number of starts that he did last year. So I think that he, a lot of credit to him. He's my hero. He's my Barracuda hero of the week because he made 31 saves on 34 shots. And, he looked really good. And I think a lot of people, after the way that the Eagles kind of played against the Barracuda, were like, okay, if this, if there's another game like this, like the Colorado Eagles are probably going to win again. And then a lot of people probably saw Georgi Romanov in net and thought, oh, fuck, this is a loss, me included. And I hate that I say that because I like Georgi Romanov, but I don't think I don't like the way that the Barracuda have been playing in their own end the last couple of games. Positive though from this game has been the power play, which has recently I said it's been good all season. Kevin Lacey quickly reminded me that it hasn't been. But their power play lately has really come on. And again, it helps when you get all your guys back. Like you have Gushin down there, you have Cardwell down there now. So I mean, but this power play generally controls the puck for the entire time. They been getting a lot of good opportunities, some really nice power play goals. Podorowski's gotten a couple goals, and even when they're not scoring, they're getting quality chances that could be goals. Like if you get a different bounce or whatever. But so for a team whose power play generally hasn't been very good, and whose team that it's not even that it hasn't always been very good, but it's hard to get in a rhythm when you get a power play and then 30 seconds into your power play you go to the box, which happened a lot earlier in the season and a lot last year. But I think the Barracuda power play has been something to watch as of late, and I hope that continues. My Barracuda 0 of the week, and this was hard too because again, I think they, there wasn't really any one guy you could hang yesterday on. I think it was just bad play in their own end. But Shakir Mukamadulin, and this might piss people off, and I don't really care. I think I don't think he's had a slow start. And I mean, and I'm not just talking about points. I just watch him play. And when we were talking about Shakir Mukamadulin, a lot of people had him penciled onto the Sharks roster. And even though he's probably first man up, he wouldn't be mine.
Well, I think I keep talking about Cagnoni, but for me, the bar is so low on the Sharks blue line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look I like Luca Cagnoni. I think he's doing really good on the Barracuda. I don't want to put him on the Sharks. And the thing with Cagnoni is I don't want him to come up and get paired with fucking Jan Ruda and then just get caved the fuck in.
Yeah.
Or get caved, or get paired with Mario Ferraro and get caved the fuck in. Leave him on the Barracuda. He's fine there.
Let's hold on. We got a couple in the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
I like Aaron going. You guys are diehard fans watching the CUDA. Have you watched the CUDA? They're more entertaining this season than the Sharks. I'm just saying, at least for now.
They are. Yeah. I mean, I think if you can find the time in your day and you can find the scratch in your wallet and you happen to be free when the Barracuda are playing at TexCU, I'd go and check it out, man. I really would. I have been dying for a time where I'm you should be excited about the Barracuda. Right. I am telling you, this year, you should be excited about the Barracuda.
Tyler says, hot take, Halttunen had a greater impact on zone possessions than most give him credit for.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that he and Philip Beestead are apparently injured right now, and that kind of sucks. Because I think they've, I cannot say enough good things about Philip Beestead's game. And Casper Haltinen, I think, has been really good. I get worried about him a little bit because I think if his injury keeps him out too long, I wonder if they do send him back down to junior. Just because of the number of guys that they have down there right now. If the Sharks can stay healthy and there's no room to bring guys up, I wonder if Casper Haltinen's a guy who might be served better by going back to junior at some point. Just based on how long this injury keeps him out. Just because I think he might have a hard time getting into this lineup regularly once everybody on the Barracuda team's healthy. Because there's a lot of forwards down there, man. It's like, and you can go, yeah, okay, fine, take out Sabrin, but it's the Luke Cunnin argument. That shit's never gonna fucking happen. So you can scream it into the void, but the reality is it's not gonna happen.
So for this week with the CUDA, they're gonna host San Diego on Wednesday before hosting a very important pair of games next weekend against Calgary, who at last look was top of the division.
Yeah, Calgary's been really good this year. It's going to be I think we're going to learn a lot about the Barracuda in these games against Calgary Wranglers, because the Calgary Wranglers are for real. They have a very, very good forward group that I think is going to give this D group fits. And I think those games are when we're going to learn a lot about the San Jose Barracuda. But their win today was the first time they've beaten the Colorado Eagles since November 12th, 2022. That was a 12-game losing streak of games that they played against the Colorado Eagles. So, yeah.
Oh, man. And for you locals, to let you know, Saturday is a Hockey is for Everyone night. So dress appropriately, and I'm sure there'll be a fun giveaway for that. A couple other players that we should make note of, since we were talking defensemen here in a hot minute ago. Last week, talked about Eric Polkamp being like a guy to keep an eye out for, and then bam, he's named NCHC Defenseman of the Week. Things you love to see. And then Sam Dickinson, named OHL Player of the Week last week, gets his second hat trick earlier this week. And so far in the season, through 14 games played, pair of hat tricks, which is first in the O, 6 power play goals, tied for first, 11 goals, which is first among defensemen, 22 points, second among defensemen. So I guess the thing I'm getting to is William who?
London's a wagon, though. I don't want to discount anything that you just said, because I think it's all very good, and I think Dickinson's been very, very good. But London's a fucking wagon. And I think that does help things a little bit. And again, that shouldn't negate anything good about Dickinson. But I do want to point out that London's a fucking wagon.
You know what gets me? It's like, just imagine if Ryan Merkley had lived up to the hype. You know what I mean?
All the skill, none of the heart.
I'm telling you. So make sure you follow Teal Town USA, Ian Reed, Sharks Jules on Twitter for those live tweets and occasional gifts about the CUDA and on most of their game days. And coming up this week, the Sharks are going to finish up a 4-game road trip with games in Philadelphia tomorrow, then heading to the island, well, the Manhattan one, and then Pittsburgh. So Philly, not doing that well this season. But, it is back-to-back. It's going to be, I don't know, you take a bus, right? I mean, New Jersey to Philly, that's a fucking bus ride. But then they have to play the Rangers. That's obviously going to be tough. But then, of course, I'm looking towards Pittsburgh. I'm really hoping that somebody runs Carlson through the glass.
Yeah, I mean, the Flyers, I'm hoping I don't remember who said it earlier, but I echo it. I want to see Celebrini, I want to see Smith, I want to see Mitch Cavall playing. If I get robbed of any of those guys playing in this game, because I don't think this game's going to be a particularly great game of hockey. The Sharks are the Sharks, and the Flyers are really bad too. But yeah, I'd like to see all those guys kind of playing against each other. The Rangers doesn't excite me at all. The Rangers are so good, man.
I was going to say, you think it's going to just be you're going to get run over?
I mean, I don't know. I thought they're going to run over tonight too. So stranger things have happened.
That's true. Back to the CUDA for a second. Tyler
hmm
saying, I wonder how short of a leash J-Mac will have with the roster. You have to think they want to win with this bunch. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with Askarov.
I agree with that. And that's a question I think that's been quelled a little bit because I think the Barracuda came out and played a really good game today, whatever. But it was one of those things where it's like, the losses piled up a little bit, and you're kind of like, and again, it's not like the way they lost yesterday was, it was just really shit structured defensive play in their end. And I just, I think that I don't think that because the Barracuda have a winning record right now, like I think J-Mac deserves some credit for that because it's not like he has nothing to do with it. But I do wish that the Sharks would have still turfed him last year. Like I still think that J-Mac's a net negative on this team overall, and it's going to take a lot to convince me otherwise.
Yep. I could not agree more here. A couple more. Taylor saying, thanks for the podcast, gentlemen. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for looking out. Like a Tiger says, Tortorella hates you, Ian.
Tortorella should hate me. John Tortorella is the most overrated coach in the NHL.
Okay, Molasses saying J-Mac deserves all the credit. I don't know about that.
No, fuck that. No, absolutely not.
Molasses also saying Newark to Philly is a train ride, about 2 hours plus drive. Yeah, no, I feel as somebody who did a 2-hour drive to and fro to North Sacramento last night. Believe me, I'm aware. Kunlun Red Star legend Ryan Merkley, evidently.
That's right. Yeah. Look at. I mean, John Tortorella. Like, I don't think the Flyers are very good, but like, I think that like, I don't know, man. Like, I look at Tortorella and I just. The way the Flyers I think he's one of those coaches that comes in with like a really short lifespan. Like you come in, you need him to come in, like he's really dumb. Yeah, it's a really dumb hire for the Flyers because they were never going to do anything. Like I still think Tortorella is the guy you bring in when you have that core that needs one last kick at the can before you tear it all apart.
So you saying Torts to Pittsburgh confirmed?
Yeah, I mean, if he got fired, which I don't think he will, I don't know, man. But I still think he's incredibly overrated. I think if you looked at the Flyers when everyone thought like, oh man, he's gonna fix all these defensemen, and did he fix them? No, they had to trade them all. So I don't know, man. Like I just wonder. I just wonder if the legend of Tortorella is greater than the coach itself at this point.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up here for from Studio A. So, I mean, any last thoughts on the week or anything you're looking forward to this week? I mean, like you said, it's, you're kind of penciling a big fat L when they hit Manhattan. But,
yeah.
I mean, again, it's one of those things where if they can go 1-1-1 this week, I think you take that as a win.
So, hey, I mean, I think if you can escape this week with 3 points, that's success for this team.
Yeah. Get back home,
right?
And then you get all the feels for the build up to the jumbo ceremony and all of that. That's gonna take precedence, except for NBCS. I'm sure they'll be covering the '95 Warriors and what why it didn't go perfect.
Why it didn't go perfect. The other thing happened this week. The NCAA is going to allow CHL players. I guess starting next year. Which I think is fascinating. I'm curious to see how that's going to affect, because I watch obviously a lot of lower levels of hockey, and I'm fascinated to see how that plays out.
Let's be honest, dude. For the last 5 years, we've been watching a pretty low level of hockey in San Jose.
Yeah, but I watch like a lot of junior hockey too, right? Like I try to watch some junior hockey and stuff like that. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what that kind of does to junior hockey. Do you see guys that maybe play a few seasons in junior? Like normally now you kind of build your teams around 4-year windows, and I wonder if that becomes like a 2 or 3 year window now. So I think there's some fascinating things that I think are going to come from that. That I think I mean, a lot of people are going to say a lot of things about it right now, but I'm fascinated to see how it actually looks when it actually comes into fruition, because I think there's some leagues that I think are going to get really hurt by it. Some of your junior A leagues in Canada, like the BCHL, where guys would go because they couldn't play junior hockey and then go to college. So I wonder how leagues like that are going to do now, because I think obviously that league is completely unnecessary now. And I do kind of worry about the USHL a little bit too.
Yes, I can see that definitely. Well, for those who won the contest last week, your package did go out. So just letting you know. And and here comes Pops rolling in just as we're about ready to punch out. Thank you. It's my anniversary today. No problem. Let's see here. My dad threw me off. There was something else I was going to mention before we got out of here, and now I can't remember what it was. But I guess that'll do it for us. The 3 games. Let me see, the jumbo feels, all of that happening. Whatever it was, I'm sure I'll remember it as soon as I hit end cast. And
Save it for next week.
Yeah. So, we were going to start it. I was going to start a new bit that says, for those who enjoyed the broadcast tonight, check out our sister cast for people that enjoy dramedies from 90s lawyers. Ally McBealtown, USA is going to be a good one. Yeah.
Good podcast.
Remember to like and subscribe. Help keep us commercial free. You can always use that super chat option. Better yet, we appreciate Venmo. Find us at Tealtown USA, because that way we actually don't have to give Google 30% of whatever you're nice enough to give us.
Truth.
Find links to our social media podcast apps and more included in the show notes. You can find everything on tealtownusa.com. And since it was an early game, I know what I wanted to say. The package, the winner went out. We'll do another one next week. So next Sunday, we'll have another giveaway. I'm sure it'll involve a Hawaiian shirt and maybe, let's see, hold on. I'm going to reach into the pile here and see which one I pull out. Okay, who is this? Okay, well, it's signed by Cody Cece. I don't know if too many people want that one. Maybe I can try to find Granlund. Okay, we have a Granlund. Maybe we'll a granny card. Okay, maybe we'll do that one. So, signed granny card, maybe a Hawaiian shirt, maybe something else. But and then usually we try to throw
those
in
signs. I like the new "This Is Sharks Territory" signs.
So do I.
Yeah, those are nice.
Like the little wave on top and everything.
They should probably just have a fucking teal curtain on them, but I digress.
They're gonna put that on the back. You know what? Now I guarantee you, dude. Puck Guy is like putting together graphics for next season where it's just going to be a curtain rod along the top and a teal curtain hanging on the sides.
I want just like a Soviet style Sharks logo Puck Guy. I need it like yesterday.
Oh my God.
On a teal background.
All right. Well, happy Veterans Day, everybody, and hope you had a fantastic weekend. We will see you tomorrow. Remember, we're live after every single Sharks games with After Dark, and we will be here tomorrow following Sharks at Philadelphia. Any idea who's on that one tomorrow?
I have not looked at the schedule.
Okay, then. So
maybe I think I might show up. Who knows?
There will be people. We know this.
Who signed up?
We know this.
They need a host. I might show up. We'll see.
Okay, then. So Sharks and Philly tomorrow. Let's see if they can put together back-to-back wins. Hell, I'm just going to go out here and say it. Perhaps back-to-back shutouts?
Oh, no, I'm on like the next 2 shows. I am not showing up tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. All right. Enjoy the night, and we'll see you tomorrow following Philly and the Sharks. Good night, everybody.